everybody, and welcome to
Hi.
this week's episode of Staying Sane. I'm Jay, and my partner in crime, Hussein.
Husane. Yeah.
So,
Hello, everyone.
welcome, everybody. Thanks
Yeah.
for tuning
Another
in.
Monday. Yeah. Another Monday.
Yeah,
So fast.
yeah.
Okay.
So, as usual, we have our weekly roundup, so let's jump right in.
Yeah.
Last week we reported on the killing of a Turkish American protester in the West Bank, and this week the Israeli government admitted the IDF was, quote, highly likely to have killed her. The U.S. Secretary of State called the killing, quote, unprovoked and unjustified, but Biden later said apparently it was an accident due to a bullet ricocheting off the ground. So we'll have to wait and see what happens. On Sunday, the Houthis in Yemen launched a missile attack on Israel, which fortunately landed in an uninhabited area. Netanyahu has stated that the Houthis will pay a, quote, heavy price for the attack, and the Houthis released a statement that their attack was carried out in solidarity with the Palestinians and that Israel should expect more ahead of the anniversary of the October 7th attack. So hopefully we'll get that situation under control before that happens. Moving to the U.S. In the U.S. state of Missouri, the state's top court has ruled that citizens should be allowed to vote on abortion laws in their state. Hey, what do you know? Representation actually works, and not have it imposed upon them. It is now one of 9 states that'll be voting on abortion rights during the presidential election in November, and polls show that more than half the state are in favor of returning abortion rights to women. So, Hussein, over to you.
Yeah. This is a news from Nigeria. That's by an attack by Boko Haram, which we missed in our past sessions. So I thought we must include this at least now. So almost 100 residents, they were killed in a Nigerian village by Boko Haram militants. That's an Islamic group which has a root in the Islamic State, ISIS. So that's one of the organizations known for their brutal attacks and killing the villagers and taking hostages, especially women as hostages, and asking for ransom from the government and all. So that's how they even make money out of that. So this happened almost 2 weeks ago. That's on September 4th, and today it's September 16th. So we missed it that day. So it's like 100 villagers were killed on the northeastern Nigeria. So that's the place where it happened. So the way that was carried out was by almost 50 extremists on motorcycles rode into the Tarmuwa Council area of Yobe State on Sunday and began firing before setting buildings ablaze, according to the police spokesperson. That's how it is reported. So it was blamed on the Boko Haram. Since 2009, they have launched an insurgency to establish its radical interpretation of Islamic law, that is to implement the Islamic State rule in Nigeria. That's their ultimate goal is. So and now more and more people are getting killed, and this is how it happens in this part of the world. And another news that's from Jordan. In Jordan, there was a parliamentary election that happened, and in that election, almost 31 seats out of 138 seats were won by the Islamic Action Front. So that's how the highly Islamist group gained a kind of a supremacy in that election. So now what is happening over there is that this was led mainly by the sentiment among the Muslims over there regarding this Israel-Hamas issue, where Jordan and Jordanian king and the prime minister, they were all siding with Israel, and they were voicing against the atrocities done by Hamas and all. So what happened was that got reflected in the parliamentary election in Jordan. And now the prime minister recently, he resigned, and he is asking, or the Jordanian king appoints Jafar Hassan to serve as prime minister. So this is what happened there. A new prime minister has taken office. So things are not in a good shape in Jordan just because of this Israel Hamas issue, where Islamic faction is gaining power and they are now trying to take over this country. And as we had discussed earlier, Jordan is known for Jordan is a place where a lot of Palestinians are living over there as refugees. They were living there, and in the past, the Black September, we remember that how those Palestinians were trying to topple the government over there by trying to coup the king. So that happened in the past, and now they are still having the black memories of that. So now with this election, it is even now getting more and more clearer that any stance that is taken along with this Israelis, that is going to affect any government, and it is nothing new. It is happening everywhere in the world. Even in India we are seeing that. So that's one reason why the people who call themselves as the liberals and the progressives, they always side with the terrorist organization called Hamas, and they just forget about what the hostages are kept for and all other atrocities. They don't even try to, or they don't even they are not even able to mention about what happened on October 7th, irrespective of the atrocities or the war tactics employed by Israel. Forget about that. But even without that, they are not able to mention about the October 7th attack, not even able to call it as a terrorist attack. That's how it is now happening all over the world. So now Jordan is also facing that bitterness in taking such a stance. So that's from Jordan, and we have a few more stories. We'll be on to that after yours. Yeah.
Okay, so let me pick up again.
Yeah.
So, as we know from the past couple weeks, the Pope has been in Asia. This past week, the Pope has called on American voters to choose, quote, the lesser of two evils. Now, whoever that is up to you, the American voters, to decide which one of them is the lesser of two evils. Frank said on Friday, as he wrapped up his Asia tour, quoting, "Both are against life, be it the one who kicks out migrants," I wonder who that could be, or be it the one who kills babies. And I'm guessing he's referring to the Democrats there. So anyway, staying in the U.S., the Archdiocese of New Orleans, which is currently going through bankruptcy reorganization, I wonder why, and no schadenfreude there, I can assure you, has countered a demand for $1 billion in compensation from victims of clerical abuse, and they have countered with a $62.5 million offer. Further, the Archbishop Gregory Aymond has said he plans to disclose the documents relating to clerical abuse. One abuse survivor, however, has noted that the Archdiocese is embarking on a $75 million restoration of the St. Louis Cathedral, which is $12.5 million more than what the church is offering the victims to settle their case. So once again, observers of the church behavior can see the church is more important to itself than it cares about its victims. Staying in the U.S., one Christian organization, I don't remember the name, nor do I care, nor do you, has claimed they cannot support Trump anymore after he has made comments that are less strictly in favor of full abortion. And also, moving to Europe, last week in the Netherlands, 2 Pakistani extremists were tried in absentia after Pakistan refused to acknowledge a request for extradition. The men were tried for a plot to kill far-right politician Wilders by calling on supporters to execute him. A 14-year sentence was given, though it is unlikely they will ever serve it. Wilders has lived under round-the-clock security for nearly 20 years due to thousands of threats following his outspoken criticism of Islam. And in our last story from my side, finally in the UK, last Tuesday a contentious debate was held in the UK's House of Lords about the role of Anglican bishops within that body, which seats 26 men from the Church of England to oversee legislation due to the church's state establishment. Peter John Burt, one of the peers in the House of Lords, described reserved seats for Anglican bishops as, quote, feudal legacy embedded, again, quote, centuries before the notion of democracy gathered pace. The bishop's bench must be reorganized as an, quoting again, an indefensible, undemocratic anomaly. he said, continuing, the bishop's presence was not appropriate in light of the 2021 census, which showed that Christianity is a minority religion now in the UK. Appointments to the House of Lords should be made on the basis of, quote, individual merit rather than right. Burt is joined by Liberal Democratic peer Paul Scriven, who said, quote, no religion or its leaders should have a privileged role, citing polling which showed 62% of the public oppose automatic seats for clerics in the House of Lords. Scriven introduced a private member's bill last year to disestablish the Church of England, including abolishing the bishop's bench. And last week, the government announced legislation to remove hereditary peers from the House of Lords, but nothing was mentioned about the bishop's bench. And back to you, Arif.
Yep. We have a news from Afghanistan. Just before going to that, let's add something on to what we discussed last day. That's about the way Saudi Arabia is showing some kind of a difference in their recent expressions regarding a kind of modernization. And we were all saying about Saudis changing, and yet we mentioned about the killing of Khashoggi as something that even exists today as a black mark upon them. So now I just had to got a chance to read this. That's something like from the Jerusalem Post. Okay, so this is an opinion. Okay, and that's about Khashoggi on his death anniversary. So why he was killed? That's the point that was addressed on this article, and the reason was that Khashoggi was in the course of forming a democracy or a democratic movement in Saudi Arabia. So he even had an organization. He was about to, in the process of launching an organization known as DAWN, that is Democracy for the Arab World Now. That's the name. So he was in the process of creating such an organization, and he was forming that kind of an advocate for democracy. That's what it is mentioned. And for that, working in close collaboration with Palestinian-American Nihad Awad, Executive Director and co-founder of the Council on American-Islamic Relations, and currently a board member of DAWN. So, as we all know, Saudi Arabia is a kingdom, an Islamic kingdom where there's a king and the rulers are there. They are totally opposed to what it is known as democracy and democratic processes. So they always wanted to keep the power with themselves. But at the same time, they have also shown some kind of differences that we address today as a kind of modernization. So, but the problem is that they are not able to see a transition from a kingdom, a rule that a kind of a monarchy into a democratic way of ruling is not seen as a modernization for them. So that's one reason, or that's one instance whereby Khashoggi was seen as a problem for this kingdom, and that could be one reason why he got killed. And that's what we could add onto that report or that discussion we had last day. That's the rise of Islamic extremism around the world. We had that kind of as a discussion last time. So now coming to Afghanistan, that's about an incident where almost 14 people were killed in Afghanistan, and that's being carried out by even claimed by Islamic State. They have come up and they have claimed their responsibility against of carrying out this attack. And the reason why they attacked, that's the most funniest part here. That is, I'll just read out here. They were calling out these people. They killed Shias. These Shias were returning from a pilgrimage site as part of their some celebration that was going on. The incident took place on the border between central province of Daikundi and Ghar. Okay, that's the name. Please pardon me if there is an error in pronunciation. Most people in the area are Shia Muslims, and it was considered one of the safest provinces in Afghanistan. But still this happened over there. The victims had gathered to greet pilgrims returning from Karbala in Iraq. So this place is close to that. And Karbala is known for these Shia festivals. And we have this. We also mentioned about a few other attacks where these people traveling by buses were constantly attacked, targeted for their beliefs, that is, being just for being Shias. So that's where the reason. And the Islamic State claimed the responsibility, and they were saying like soldiers of the caliphate had fired assault rifles at a group of apostates. The Shias are being called as apostate by the the Sunni version of Islam, and the Islamic State is a part of this Sunni, or is based on this Sunni way of thinking or Sunni way of Islam, and they consider Shias as apostate, and this is the reason why they killed, and they have openly they are openly claiming this responsibility, and they are accepting that. So this is how Islam functions, and how these people, their lives are getting into this great trouble. They are not even able to lead a beautiful life for them. So this is it. Okay, something we can add to our past episodes discussion, where we were mentioning about Islamic extremism, the rise of Islamism, and other things. Yeah. So one another example to that. Anything more?
Hopefully it'll be calming down, as we mentioned last week, that Mohammed bin Sultan has announced that Saudi is going to start cracking down on extremism. But again, I remain skeptical and wait and see. So if they do it, great, but I'm not going to hold my breath. I imagine many other ex-Muslims probably aren't as well.
Okay. Let's see. Are you aware of the Sinwar papers that got leaked, and that's a big news in Israel and all over the world?
Was it announced this week, or it's been a while?
The Hamas documents.
I get bombarded with so much, I can't remember if I noted.
Okay,
I may have seen it, but I don't remember it.
Oh, okay. It's yet to be confirmed that a computer was recovered from this Hamas terrorist sites, and it contained some of the papers where it is claimed to be either by Yahya Sinwar himself or some of his aides who has written there something regarding the hostages deal and the future plans for the course of the war and other things, and where it was clearly mentioned that there's a chance, or they were trying to delay the hostage deal, and whereby these hostages will be smuggled into Egypt and from there to Iran. That's the plan that was mentioned in it as per the leaked report. And Israel is now saying that this is something as a part of an attempt to manipulate the public opinion on this hostages deal, whereby Israel will be forced into withdraw from the military intervention, and rather than military way of doing that, go into discussions and diplomatic way of ensuring the hostage deal. That's what is going as a bigger discussion over there. Large people are coming onto the streets, and they are protesting over there regarding this hostage deal. They want an immediate cessation of this military action, and they want a deal to be happening. So that's what is going on there. And this paper could manipulate those people, the public opinion. So that's how Israel see this as a problem, this leaked documents. So maybe in the future we will get more clarity on that. Right now, this is it. Yeah.
And that those documents were leaked this week, or it's been out for a while?
It's came into circulation almost 10 days ago. Yeah.
Okay.
But they are saying that it's already available since August, or even before that. And it was already mentioned by many other Hamas soldiers, Hamas personals who were captured from Gaza and who were interrogated, and they were also saying the same. That's what IDF is saying. But there are some arguments going over that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Follow the story. We'll see what.
Let's see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, again, as we said on our chat last week, we hope that cooler heads are going to prevail. People like Netanyahu need to be gotten out, and we need people who are willing to negotiate in good faith. Both Hamas and Netanyahu need to go. We need rational humanists to solve this problem. So. So
Yeah.
that's all the news from my side. Do you have any more
Yeah.
topics on your side?
It's
Okay.
it's done. Yeah, we can
You're
call
done.
it a day. Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you
So
everybody for tuning in. I hope it was educational for you, and we'll see everybody next week. Take care.
yeah.
Bye bye.
Thank you all for joining. Bye bye.